Just ahead, a very traditional hanging. Kathleen Wynne's official portrait takes its place on the walls of Queen's Park. She joins me after the break to talk about her time in power and the difference it made. Kathleen Wynne back in the spotlight at Queen's Park this week. The official portrait of the one-time Premier and current MPP unveiled during a special ceremony. Earlier, I spoke with Kathleen Wynne about the portrait and her time as Premier. Kathleen Wynne, welcome to the program.
Thanks, Alan. Nice to be here.
I'm wondering, when you first saw your portrait, was there a surprise? Was there something that jumped out at you? You thought, well, I didn't expect that.
So I had seen it before the unveiling. Actually, it was an emotional reaction. I really loved it. I loved all of the color and the warmth in it, and I thought that Linda had done a very good job. I then worried, what will other people think? It's a weird experience seeing yourself in that size, and but I was happy with it.
And as we take a look at it, the artist in question also painted David Peterson's portrait. What was it about that portrait that drove you to that artist again?
Well, yeah, I started with that. I started with really loving David's portrait because I liked the warmth in it. I liked the expression on his face. I know David pretty well, so I thought that she really captured him. She also painted a very close friend of mine, a guy named Stephen Coxford, who was at Western University, and I thought that she captured his essence, and I've known him since I was 2 years old. So I liked that she seemed to get into the person's head a bit, and Linda and I spent quite a lot of time together, and we talked about what else would be in the picture, how I would tell my story, and it was a good process.
These things can take a lot of years. I know, other former premiers, their paintings don't go up to years later. This was quite quick. Why did you want it so quickly?
Well, a couple of reasons, and I joked about this when it was unveiled. I said that there's time-lapse photography on wrinkles happening here, so I wanted to get it up as soon as possible. But the real reason was that I see hundreds of young girls and their boy classmates go through Queen's Park every day, and I really wanted them to be able to see a woman in the role of Premier. I wanted that wall to have a woman as well as all of the men that have been there, and so I said I want to get it up within a year. I'm a little beyond a year, but not a whole lot.
You mentioned some of the things in the painting that point to your life, family, but important books. I want to talk about what you're wearing, and the reason I bring that up is because over your premiership, there was a lot of talk about what you wore and things that perhaps we would not have commented on a male premier. I wonder how you took that and how you processed that and felt about it.
Well, I tried to talk a little bit about that in my remarks at the unveiling, because the suit I'm wearing is the suit that I had worn in the last debate in the 2018 election. I wanted to wear a dress because I wanted it to be very clear that I was making a statement about, yes, I'm different, I'm different than the other people who have been premier. But the scarf on the arm of the chair is kind of the symbol of those discussions that we had. Should she wear a scarf? Color of hair, makeup, all of those things. Do the scarves make her look too fancy? Do they look too expensive? And I basically put the scarf there because I think we should, as women, as young girls, aspire to leadership wherever we are, whether we wear scarves or not, whether we wear suits or not, whoever we are, we should have the right to aspire to those leadership positions. And that's what the scarf on the arm of the chair is about.
One of the unusual things about this particular ceremony is not often we see a former premier who's still a sitting MPP. And I wonder how you process that. You're still at Queen's Park, you still represent people in your riding, and yet there's your painting as with all the rest of the premiers.
Yeah, and that is it's a bit uncomfortable in the sense that it hasn't happened before, and I understand that, but it's a function of me wanting to get the picture up. I made a commitment that I would be in the legislature, that I would serve the people of Don Valley West, and I'm doing that. But at the same time, I wanted to get the portrait done for all those reasons that I said. So, it's just a different way of doing it, but I feel strongly that having the portrait up will be a signal to girls and to the LGBTQ community. You know, there's never been an openly gay leader in this country before, there hadn't been before I became the premier, but I think it's important that people see themselves reflected.
There are 6 people in the running to replace you as leader of the Liberal Party. 3 of them are women. I'm wondering what advice you would have to those women and other women that aspire to a high political office.
What I have started to say to young women and to women who are running for office is that we're not, as a society, going to move fast enough for all the barriers to be removed for you. You know, social media is going to continue to be vile. There are still going to be discussions about what you're wearing, how you look. You know, that's a reality. It's a reality for men to a certain extent too, but it's heightened for women. So what I'm saying to young women is, in spite of all of that, understand it, use it, be yourself, listen to the advice, but at the end of the day, do what you believe to be right. And in spite of that, it is worth doing. You know, you can make a difference in people's lives, and we need you. We need your voices. We need you at the table.
Kathleen, congratulations on your portrait being
Thank you.
at Queen's Park. Thanks for being here.
Thanks, Alan.